What's up guys, Harvick99 here, back with another video, and I'm finally here with the top 5 best and worst paint schemes of 2023. This video was originally supposed to go out in late December, and now it's the beginning of February. Sorry about that. But, anyway, I don't want to waste any more of your time, so let's get into it. Starting off with the top 5 worst paint schemes of 2023. Number 5. At number 5 on this list is Justin Haley's Mountain Dew paint scheme that he ran at the Bristol Night Race. I know what some of you are saying. It's a good paint scheme. What are you talking about? While I agree the design is good, there's just one thing that really bothers me about this paint scheme. The white nose. Everything else about this paint scheme is good. I like the green color pattern, but why the white nose? Why couldn't the whole car have been green? It would have been so much better. But instead they decided to go with a white nose, and it completely ruins the paint scheme for me. And that's why I rank it at number 5 of the worst paint schemes of the year. Number 4. At number 4, we have a tie. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. ran 2 different Coca-Cola paint schemes this year. A black and red one at Las Vegas, and a white and red one at the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro, and they're both equally bad. No design to them whatsoever, just red base, white highlights, with logos slapped on it. They're one and the same. They're both equally bad. And they're rightfully deserving of the number 4 slot of the top 5 worst paint schemes of the year. Number 3. At number 3 on this list is Joey Logano's Verizon Frontline paint scheme that he ran at Pocono. This paint scheme was the number 1 worst paint scheme of 2022. This year, it gets relegated to number 3, as there are 2 other paint schemes that are even worse than this, which is definitely saying something. This paint scheme is just downright terrible. Red base, white and red stripes, white check mark on the side, it just looks bad. Egregiously bad. Number 2. At number 2 on this list, we have Bubba Wallace's McDonald's paint scheme. When this paint scheme was first unveiled, I and a lot of other NASCAR fans were scratching our heads. It looks like if they were trying to print the diecast, but they ran out of ink. Because it's, for whatever reason, it's mostly gray. When in years past, they've run primarily mostly red McDonald's paint schemes. Why the change up this year? I get that sometimes change can be good, but this is not one of those instances. This paint scheme is really ugly. Before I get to number 1, here are some dishonorable mentions. These paint schemes were bad, but they weren't bad enough to make the top 5. And again, like last year, you'll notice that it's primarily Ricky Stenhouse Jr. paint schemes, because most of the JTG Doherty schemes were downright awful this year. Much like 2022. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. And you probably want to get this over with. The number 1 worst paint scheme of the year is a tie between William Byron's HP paint scheme that he ran at the Charlotte Roval and his relay paint scheme that he ran at the Fall Charlotte race. I lumped these in together because they're one and the same. Plain white paint scheme, with a secondary color added onto it. They're both downright terrible. And that's become a motif for not just William Byron paint schemes, but Hendrick Motorsports paint schemes as a whole. I don't know why that is. I don't know who they brought on to make paint schemes for them, but obviously they haven't been doing a good job. I think this may be the first time where there's a tie for the number one worst paint scheme of the year. And they're both William Byron paint schemes. I couldn't decide which one was worse, so I decided to include them both, because essentially they're one and the same. Same base color, same lazy design. That's finally over. We can move on to the top 5 best paint schemes of the year. Number 5. At number 5 on this list is Alex Bowman's Ally paint scheme that he ran at Homestead, Miami. I really like this paint scheme. Some people don't because of the complexity of it, but me personally, I love it. The light blue and the pink, the purple, all the different colors, they go really well together. And they illustrate the Miami aesthetic really well. Number 4. At number 4 on this list, we have Alex Bowman's Ally Primary paint scheme. A vast improvement over the 2022 scheme, which was downright awful and was one of the worst paint schemes of 2022. This year, they turned it on its head, and now they have one of the best paint schemes of 2023, which was really great to see. I love this paint scheme a lot. Number 3. At number 3 on this list, we have Ryan Preece's Patriotic scheme that he ran at the Coke 600. This paint scheme, like many other Patriotics run in the past, screams America. I love the design on this. It's got the perfect mix of red, white, and blue, and it perfectly illustrates the spirit of the United States of America. This is patriotism on wheels. Number 2. At number 2 on this list, we have Justin Haley's Tide paint scheme that he ran at the Bristol Dirt Race. This paint scheme is beautiful. Any paint scheme that has Tide as the sponsor is really beautiful. Except for that one Ricky Stenhouse throwback. We don't talk about that one Ricky Stenhouse throwback. Anyway, what I personally would have loved was if Tide was the only sponsor for this race, and the whole car could have been in the Tide colors. But Food City being in the back really doesn't do much to change my opinion on this paint scheme. It still looks really beautiful, even with Food City, the Food City colors in the back there. It's still a really great paint scheme, and well deserving of the number 2 slot of the top 5 best paint schemes of the year. Before we get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. These paint schemes were good, really good, but they weren't good enough to make the top 5. I still love them, but I had to condense it down to 5, and these paint schemes just didn't make the cut. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The number 1 best paint scheme of 2023 is Kevin Harvick's Sunny D paint scheme that he ran at the Fall Kansas race. If you're a frequent viewer of the channel, you'll know that I absolutely love the Sunny D paint schemes. And I say it so much that I sound like a broken record every time I talk about them. but I can't get enough of Sunny D paint schemes. They're just way too good. And for the second year in a row, a Sunny D paint scheme gets the #1 slot in the top 5 best paint schemes of the year. Deservingly so. This paint scheme is beautiful, and I wish Kevin Harvick could have run it more throughout the season. But I guess it being a one-off makes it all the more special. And there you have it. The top 5 best and worst paint schemes of 2023. Do you agree with my rankings? Why or why not? What are your top 5 best and worst paint schemes of 2023? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more of me, be sure to follow my socials, like my Twitter, my Instagram, my Threads, and join my Discord server. Links to all those are in the description down below. Leave a like on the video, and subscribe to my channel for more motorsports content. Thank you all so much for watching. That's it for me. Peace.